Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. Let's give this some context. And I'm going to try to stay out of the way of these people. So perspective. The market is what? Shifting. Or is anybody seeing that or experiencing that in some way, shape, or form in this market?
Yes.
If not, you will soon. Okay, because we're seeing it in little bits and pieces. We're not there yet. But we're seeing some of the indicators. Second, you're going to also be noticing what? The amount of leads are decreasing, right? You may not be getting hit as hard with internet inquiries or phone calls or sign calls. Has anyone experienced that in the last recent past? Yes? Okay. And the third. What is the third? Everyone please say this out loud.
Lead generation is your business.
We had career night last night, and I really was honest with them, right? Jennifer is my witness. This is not a business of looking at homes. This is a business of lead generation. You've all heard me say that multiple times. Here's what Gary said in Shift. Fewer leads, fewer showings, and increased days on the market. The minute these signs show up, what do? Take notice. Now, does that mean we wait for that to happen in our market?
No.
Right? Because what we're going to share is Gary talks about we're very fortunate and kind of insulated in the Pacific Northwest because what do we tend to do behind, that's a hint, the national market? We tend to lag, right? So we're not one of the first people that get hit. We get a little warning, little indicators that are going to give us a heads up saying start preparing, right? And the reason I sent that video out to the Facebook group is because we're seeing those signs. And we'll talk about that from Gary. So here's the first thing you're going to do. This is a practice one, so if you mess this up, it's okay. Right? We're practicing, so pull out your phones. There is a question. You do not have to text anything other than a letter, so don't touch your phones yet. Just look at me. It's very simple. Okay, are we good? So the question is what? Very top. So then you choose an answer, less than 1, 1 to 3, so on and so forth. Whatever your answer, you text that corresponding letter. Just put in A or whatever your letter is and hit send. Just simply the letter and hit send. Okay? This is a practice one.
That's cool.
I'm not going to make you guys all tell me who messed it up. Jenna.
Is there a way to get onto the Wi-Fi for those of us who have slow?
It's capital KW, lowercase classroom, 441.
So what are we seeing as these results keep coming in? What's your aha so far? This is an easy one. What happens when the market gets really good? What do we see an increase of? Realtors. Has anybody noticed there are more realtors in our market? Yes? Just a few. We have almost 1,400 in the MLS today in Coeur d'Alene. Okay? Is that a lot? Yes. In the peak, we had a little over 1,500. So 1,400 is a fair amount of realtors. Okay? So here's what we're showing you, and what I wanted to get across is we have a diverse group even sitting in this little room right now. Okay? So with that diversity comes different what? Perspective, experience, challenges, right? We've all been through different lengths, different types of shifts, different markets. So my whole point is as we're going through this, find somebody that's been in it longer than you because you can rub shoulders with them and learn from what they've gone through. Right? That's the whole idea of modeling. Okay? So let's keep going. You didn't get it? Sorry, you lost your practice. You'll get another shot. So here's the thing. First off, we're going to do what? What does it say?
Mind shift.
Do a mind shift. So when the market shifts, what's the first thing that agents need to do? Check your mindset, right? Because here's what we know. What's the most important thing that you can do to prepare for a shift? The most important thing. Ramp up your... Well, that's it, guys. That's all we have to go over. You already know the answer. You do the lead generation. That is the most important thing because if we do more activity, what do we get more of? Results. You guys are smart. We're not going to go through this much more. So negative framing and reality framing. He talks about this in the book. He also talked about it in one of his talks on shift. Here's what he said. Negative framing, lead generation says this, that lead generation is hard work. It's uncomfortable. It exposes what you're really doing and what you're really not doing. What do we mean by that one? Let's stop there for a second. In a great market, what does it mask? Or non-existent habits. High tide floats all boats. Right? When we were in Portland, the second part of it, the last 2 days, was with Ben Kinney. And Ben Kinney had us all laughing because he said, in a good market, everyone thinks they're amazing. They think they are amazing, which you are all amazing. But in a good market, most agents think that they're all amazing. And then what happens when the shift happens? They're exposed, right? They're absolutely exposed for what they have not been doing. Their success has nothing to do with them, it has everything to do with the market, right? So we need to really take time to look at our mindset as far as lead generation, our habits, and we're going to talk more about that to make sure that you guys are setting up what you need to set up to carry right through a shift in the market. It does not have to impact us in a negative way, okay? Now we're going to stop here. So Tony, can you pass out that scratch paper, please? So, we are literally using scrap paper. It comes from Bold, and it's left over, and instead of throw it away, we're going to use it because we are green. So, we're going to pass this paper out. So, as that's getting passed out, here's the questions. You're going to stop. We're going to do this very, very quickly. I'm confident that you all can do this very quickly. What's your goal for closed transactions for the rest of the year? Okay? What's the second one? For the rest of the year. Because how many people are right on target with their goals for the year? How many people are off of their target for their goals for the year? Okay, so for the rest of this year, what is your goal for closed transactions? Because we still have how many months left? You still have 5 months in a really great market. Okay? So what are your closed goals for the rest of this year? Second, how will you spend the money you'll make when you hit those closed goals? Third, and I'm going to leave these up here, who holds you accountable? What's the #1 recipe for disaster in the real estate business? Lack of accountability, right? We all get into the business because we like the freedom and the flexibility. And then what happens? The other side of that sword cuts us, right? Because the freedom and flexibility mean we aren't accountable to ourselves or anyone else, and so we don't do the activity required to get what? The results we want. Okay, you guys have all seen this before. And last but not least, how many hours daily do you lead generate? This you aren't sharing with anybody, so don't lie. Okay? How many hours do you lead generate daily? So these are your questions. Right now, let's take 1 minute very quickly. What's your goal for the rest of this year to close transactions? How will you spend the money you make when you make that goal? Who holds you accountable? And how many hours a day do you lead generate? Stop and write those questions. When you're done, put your pens down and look up so I know when to move on.
Yeah, just use that as the sheet. Just gonna use that as the sheet.
Yep. Hurry, hurry, hurry. We have it? You have it?
Yes.
We got slides, people. We have it? Okay, we're going. So the master lead generation, there are 3 things that Gary highlights in his books, in his talks. If you've ever heard him speak, you've seen these 3 before, but we're going to unpack them. What are they? The first one's what? Study. Study what? The market. We're going to talk about that. Number 2 is what? Practice. Practice what?
Scripts.
You guys really should come teach this. Scripts, right? Practice scripts. Knowing what to say. And number 3 is what? Time on task. You might have heard of something called time blocking, yes? Okay. So first, study for 30 minutes to an hour. Yes? 30 minutes to an hour each day. Study the industry or your local market. Okay? So here's what he says. The agents who know their markets backward and forward look at their numbers and trends and pay attention to what's going on in their industry and related industries as well. What's a related industry that impacts ours? Mortgage. New construction. What else? What's that? Yeah, the Fed, the rates, absolutely. Right, so you get what he's saying here. It's 30 minutes to an hour investing in yourself and your business to study your market and your industry as well as other industries or outside industries that impact yours. Because what happens if tomorrow, which they're not going to, but what happens if tomorrow the Fed raises rates by 2 points? What does that do to our market? We're hanging out drinking free coffee, right? That's what it does to our market. So that's what he's saying. There is always an impact from outside industries on our industry that we need to know about as well. You don't have to be a loan officer, but you need to know some of the key indicators to watch for in their industry. Okay? Any questions with that? Are we good there? I'm not asking if you like it, but are you good with that? We understand it. Okay. Study topics. Here are some of the things Gary wrote down. New developments in the community, homes on the market, previewing them. Selling and negotiating techniques. Right? What becomes really also important in a really shifted market? How about conversion rates. Right? Because it's going to take, we're going to talk about it, it's going to take more appointments to end up with the same number of closed sides. Would you guys agree with that in a shifted market? It takes more at-bats to come out the other end with the same amount of closed units. So your conversion rate becomes really, really, really critical. The better and the higher you can convert, you're going to have to work a little bit less because everyone else around you is going to have to work twice as hard to do the same amount of business. Right? Because not in a shifted market, not everyone's able to sell. In a shifted market, not everyone's able to buy. It's not as fast-paced as this market. Okay, so keep that in mind. Financing options. Again, Steve, that's why we have the lenders come and do the updates to the meetings to keep you aware of what's happening with the different programs. You need to know about them. You don't need to know all about them. You're not a lender, but you need to know what's available so you can guide your clients. Okay? Building and construction, what's happening as far as permitting, what's coming online, what's selling out. Home inspections, home appraising, which we talk about a lot in our meetings. What are you seeing with appraisals and inspections, right? Because those can impact the deals. The next one, local and national media messages. How many people were impacted by the media last shift? Raise your hand. Now, for those of you that went through it, how were we impacted by the media in the last shift?
They were saying it was worse than it was.
What does the media do? Do they sell good news or bad news? What sells their papers and gets subscribers and all that good stuff? It's bad news. It's sensationalizing this much of the bad stuff and missing this much of the good stuff. Would you guys agree with that? Now, that impacts you, but who does it impact more? Consumers, right? So those of us that were in the market when it shifted last time, how many of us had clients saying, oh, well, the real estate market's terrible. Can't get a loan. Couldn't qualify. And what's the reality at that time? What was the reality here? You probably could. You probably could qualify. You probably can get a loan. You probably could sell your house. Right? But what do they buy into? That's what he's talking about. The national media, we have to go to war with that when that shift happens, because what are they going to scream from the rooftops? The good or the bad? If they have 15 states that are down in pricing, are they going to talk about the 15 that are down in pricing, or are they going to talk about the remaining that are up? They're going to focus on the 15 that are down. You see what I'm saying here? So we have to be aware of that and cognizant of that. So industry-specific news and information. NAR. I know a lot of you go to sleep when I even say NAR, but NAR does produce some good content for us because it gives us some trending data. It can give us some good information to be able to take great stuff back to our consumers to help them make really good decisions, right? The second one, in the news. How many people, I want to stop here, how many people know what in the news is? Okay, for those of you who didn't raise your hand, that's fine, and you get a free subscription, all of you, as being a part of Keller Williams. So if you've not yet taken advantage of that, go to kw.com and put it in the news, and you'll find a link where you can activate your free subscription. For those of you that know what it is in the news in a nutshell?
Wall Street Journal of Real Estate.
It's the Wall Street Journal of Real Estate. That's a great way to put it. It's industry specific. All they do is talk about what industry? Real estate, right? So they have two events, Inland Connect New York, Inland Connect San Francisco. San Francisco's happening right now, and you can stream it for free live because you are a member through KW. Right, so yesterday I'm going to share some stuff from that conference with you. I wasn't there, but I get the benefit of some of that material because I streamed it and I was studying my industry. Okay? Real Trends is another one you can check out. Real estate investing. Why would we say real estate investing? Why would you want to learn more about real estate investing, the process, investors, the programs available to them? Why would you want to know about that going into a shift? In a down market, that's when investors start buying. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
They're not buying right now. They may here or there, but they're not buying in big ways right now because what? Pricing is too high. They're going to wait until they can get a deal. Okay, you guys are smart. And technology, right? Knowing and studying the technology. How many people would agree that this industry is changing really quickly every day in terms of technology? Right, so at Mega Camp, they're talking about 3 and 4 major new tools that they're rolling out this coming year just for our agents technology-wise, because Gary Keller's words to us was that we are no longer a real estate company. We're like, I didn't get that memo, right? We're a technology company that happens to be in the business of real estate, right? Because where is this industry heading? It's all technology, right? Because if it was just the analyzed books and you guys were just only valuable for the data you could provide, you've already been replaced. Right? So this industry is moving in a technological way, and we have to keep up with that. So that's part of what we're going to study too. So then we're going to talk about studying your own numbers. Get ready, there's a poll coming. Studying your own numbers. So all but one of these are covered in what report that you get emailed every week? TMO report. Do you think there's a reason that we pay to have that done on your behalf and emailed to you weekly? Use it. Use it. Okay? I have a lot of you come and ask me, do you have the report from a year ago or 2 years ago? I've archived every TMO report we've ever received since I've been here in 2011. It's really simple. I create a folder on my Gmail. So now what can I do very quickly before meetings like this? Or in your case, before presentations? I can look at today's and I can go back to August of 15, August of 14, 13, 12, and 11. What can I now automatically in 2 minutes see? Trends. Okay, so there's a reason we have that TMO report. Gary talks about the importance of getting this data. We want to make it easy because I know that none of you, just like me, enjoy going through and pulling out the data and extrapolating the trends. You're not going to do it. All you have to do is scan that TMO report, so don't miss that. Okay, this is your time to shine, guys. Here's our question. What is the most active price range in our local MLS currently? Those are your options. Text the corresponding letter. Let's see how well you know your market. You see? Looks like we're a little split. How well do you guys know your market? Shouldn't this be an easy one? Shouldn't this be close to 100% in one price point if we're all studying our market?
There's a whole range there it's missing though.
What are we seeing? I know I was helping you out. I could have gone to $1 million, but I'm helping you out. I've teed it up for you, and you still were spread across the board. What's the answer?
D. It's actually C plus, 175.
C. How many people were confident knowing that? You can raise your hand if you want to, but the numbers don't lie, okay? What's my point in this exercise? Know your market. Because the only way you're going to be able to tell when a shift happens is if you know your market. Do you follow me? If you don't know these numbers, if you don't know where the activity is and it shifts, you're not going to be able to pick up on it fast enough. Okay? So start spending time studying your market. Next. Okay. So events, masterminds, mega camp, family reunion. How many people know what family reunion is? How many people know where it is this coming year in February? Las Vegas. Here's why I'm telling you that. It's close. It's close. It's cheap to get to, and it's fairly inexpensive to stay. Would you guys agree with those three statements about Vegas? It always goes East Coast after it's here. So here's what I'm telling you. How many people want to go to family reunion? Okay, so here's what we know. Family reunion sold out. Have you guys seen the memo? Yes. If you want to go, you need to email me today. I need a count. We can get you tickets. But I have to know. And I can't say I want 100 and then last minute say, just kidding, I only want 23. Okay? So I have to know. If you want to go, I need to know because we've been told we can get you tickets, but I have to have a head count. Okay? That's one. Why would you go to family reunion, especially why would we talk about that in shift? Why would that be important to go to family reunion? Shout it out. Be confident, people. Why would you go?
To learn.
To learn? Meet people? How about hear from other people who are in markets that are already shifting? Would that be valuable? To hear from people who are in markets that are already shifted about techniques they're using and results they're getting, would that be beneficial? That's why we have these gatherings and these events, okay? Lots of resources there. So we talked about this, confront the media. You guys are really going to have to pay attention to this because they're going to want to sell the bad news and you've got to be really, really, really ready to take the real story to your clients, okay? Number 2, practice. How many people use scripts right now? Raise your hand. Okay. How many people use a script called LP Mama? How many people have heard of LP Mama? Okay, so what is, again, I'm looking for a Rick Sharp answer. What's LP Mama? Okay, I'm not going to make you remember the acronym. What is in concept of LP Mama? It's a single script to qualify quickly people who are calling on your signs. Or on a listing online or whatever. But it's a way to quickly qualify people. Because what happens in a shifted market? What did I say the important rate that we want to look at? Conversion rate, right? It becomes essential that our conversion rate goes higher because it's going to take more at-bats to get the same number of total closed business. So, one of the ways we can increase our conversion rate is to get better at practicing the tools that are going to get us there. LP Mom is one example. Okay? Here's what Gary says. He says the second step to outplaying everyone else on the field is developing a mastery of lead generation. It's to know exactly what to say at all times and in all situations. Right? Because when a shift happens, what happens to the mindset of your consumers if you've gone through a shift before? Right now, they're all drunk on success and they're loving this market and they can sell for $1 million even though it's worth $200, right? That's where their mindset is. What happens in a shift? Goes to the opposite end of the extreme, right? Would you guys agree with that? Then the sky is falling and they're never going to be able to sell and it's not worth anything and maybe we should short sell it, right? It goes from one extreme to the other and that's not good. You have to be prepared for that, okay? Sources for scripts, where do you find them? How many people have taken Ignite? Good. It's coming up again. How many people know that we have a lot of experienced people that go through Ignite multiple times? It's not just for new people, right? When does it start again?
It starts next Monday.
It starts next Monday. It'll be in this room. Tell me the date.
Monday, Thursday, Friday.
Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 to noon
9 to noon.
in this room, okay? So I can't encourage you enough, drop in for those Ignite sessions. Also, we've talked about this before, but on KW.com, the scripts catalogs. There are 3 of them that you can search. There's lead generation, buyers, and sellers. They're this thick when you print them out. You guys, you have the tools, you just have to go get them and use them, okay? So if you're interested in that, we can help you, but it's on KW.com. Put in scripts catalog and we'll pull those up for you. Win with buyers and win with sellers. Now, I put these in here because I've got some exciting news to share with you. How many people would like to have those approved for CE credits? How many people would be excited to know that that just happened? So we're going to be bringing those to you fall and spring of this next year for CE credits. So that is an awesome thing, and Boise really has been leading the charge with us on that to get IREC to comply a little bit, off the record. So, they finally did, and we're really excited about that because we're going to work on getting more and more of those courses approved for you. We kind of have a precedent set now, so we're going to work more of that into the fold. But those are all great sources, and that's not a limited amount, but that's just some places you can go to get those scripts. So how many people do script practice? Because this was really big when the market was not so great. Right? And what's one of the first things that falls off when the market gets good? Script practice, because we don't need it. Because I'm amazing. You see how we just went full circle there? All right, so don't get so drunk on the success that you're having that you stop the fundamentals that got you there. And the biggest thing you need to remember is sometimes if you're not doing the fundamentals, the scariest part is you did nothing to get you there. Right? And that's a really scary place to be going into a shift. So we want to get you back to those fundamentals, back to the basics. Remember the shoe tying story that we told last time? Back to the basics. That's what we're talking about, okay? So bottom line, listen to other people, find a script partner, go through them and role play them. You get better at stuff when you practice it, and I would rather not practice on clients, right? Because that hurts our conversion rate. Okay. Here we are again, guys. Woo! Who can do it? Who can do it? Here's the question. How many honest? This means don't lie. No one's going to know what you text. How many honest hours of lead generation consistently do you do? I'm not saying you did it one time 2 years ago. Consistently, daily, how many hours per day do you spend in lead generation?
Is there an F?
So as this is coming in live, real time, what are our ahas?
Not enough.
Say it again?
Not enough.
Not enough. Because we're too busy. And we don't need it because we're amazing, right? Do you see how this all ties in? Don't listen to that little thing on your shoulder saying that you're amazing, you're the reason for your success, you're it, because you may be part of it, but but you have to get back to the basics. Okay, all kidding aside, I really want you guys to hear me on this. I want this to resonate because we're going to share with you, it's here and it's coming, and I don't want any of you caught off guard. Okay? If you didn't get it, sorry, you're out. Time on task. How many people have read a book called? Yes, and most recent, white cover? The One Thing. Time on task. What are they talking about? Time blocking. Right? If it's not in your calendar, you guys are amazing. Okay, so here's what we know. 3 hours each day of lead generation. How does that break down? Because I know some of you just got a little nervous when I said 3 hours of lead generation. First, there's 3 parts. It's not all calling. It's not all the actual activity of lead generating. So calm down a little bit, okay? The first one, the first hour is what? Prepare. The second one's taking action. The third one is maintenance on what you did, the activity you did, okay? So, what's the biggest thing you think I hear when I talk about lead generating with people? It starts with an E and ends with excuses. If you don't like cold calling strangers, what should you do?
People you know.
Start with people you know. If you spend all morning with email, then what do? Time block it later in the day. If you can't reach people in the morning, what do? Call in the afternoon. Right? You cannot accept excuses from yourself if you want to get back to these basics and you want to have the business that you currently are enjoying through the shift. Okay? So, set lead generation goals. How many people have lead generation goals? Or know what they are?
I know what they are.
That's an honest answer. How many people are on pace with those lead generation goals? Right? So again, just a gut check for you. We need to know number of calls, number of contacts, how many people we want to add to our database, how many appointments we want to set with buyers, how many appointments we want to set with sellers. We should have those specifically dialed in so we can look at them every single day. Because it tells us if we're winning or losing. And I'd much rather know on a daily basis than wait until fourth quarter and go, uh-oh. Right? How many people have had that experience before? Chickens. You all have. We wait till the end of the year and it's too late to what? Too late to do anything about it. Right? So the whole point is you holding yourself accountable, having these goals, checking in on your progress regularly, gets you where you want to go. Okay? So here's a stop and think, also on a piece of paper. We're going to do this quickly. Write down your top 10 lead sources currently. Your top 10. If you don't have 10, that's problem number 1. But what are your top 10 lead sources currently? When you're done with that, for the people that are quick, identify the number of leads or closings each has produced. You can do ballpark, you can do percentage. I don't care. It's an exercise. Whatever you think, get close. Because what we're going to ultimately do is we're going to rank these in order from 1 to 10. 1 being the most productive or effective, and 10 being the least. You all follow? So you're going to put 10 on the page, and then you're going to rank them 1 to 10. 1 being the most effective, or the one that sends me the most leads, all the way down to 10 least effective. Okay? I'll give you 30 seconds. Go quick. Okay, how we doing? Hurry faster. Okay, do we have it? Now what you're going to do, if you have 8, take 4. If you have 10, take 5. Cut the list in half. Just draw a line, splitting a list in half. Okay? And here's what Gary suggests. You do what you want, but here's what Gary suggests. Gary suggests immediately stop allocating time and money to the bottom half. And what do you do with those resources? Move them to the top. You follow me? Stop spending time and money on the bottom half and take that time and money and apply it to the top. Okay? Again, just Gary's suggestion. Who's Gary? It's up to you, though. You can do what you want to. That's your business, okay? So now we're going to go through this quickly because I want to get to some of the market data. The 2 M's of lead generation. A lot of you have heard this, some of you haven't. So I'm going to move quickly. This is in shift tactic. 4. Good job. Okay, so if you want to look back on this stuff, I would suggest rereading shift tactic 4. There's 2 M's of lead generation. So how many people are doing marketing right now? How many people are doing lead generation right now? This is very important for you, okay? There's 2 M's, method and message. Here's what we know, the methods. There's prospecting and marketing. What's the difference? Prospecting is I'm going to get the business. Marketing is I'm waiting for it to come to me, okay? Not bad or good. Which is most effective in a shift? Which costs less? Which gets you a faster response for people that are ready now? Which one do you think you should do more of? Okay, I did not lead you into that, you did, okay? So the message matters. Now when they're talking about the message is what are you conveying to this group of people? So there's 2 things to take into consideration. First, match the market. Who is our target demographic? Who are we wanting to reach? That's the market they're talking about. Is it an age thing? Is it millennials, baby boomers? Whatever. Is it an area of town thing? Is it a certain type of property owner thing? But who is our market that we're wanting to reach? Match your message to that market. We'll talk about that. And the most important thing is the last one. What is it? Make an offer. Okay, here's a bad example of an offer that you all and I see every day in this business advertised. Call me for a free CMA. What are the problems with that? Everybody does it, and half the population has no clue what a CMA is. We're using our vernacular in public, and they have no clue what we're talking about, some of them, right? So everybody does it. Is it a strong offer? Very weak, okay? Make an offer. We're going to talk about what type of offer. So our message matches our market. We figure out the target audience, and then what the market conditions are, number 2, that are impacting that target audience, okay? So if you're sending to expired listings, and that's your target audience, what are the market conditions that are currently impacting expired listings? That comes into formulation when you're coming up with your message, right? Now if the market turns, and they're an expired listing and days on market and inventory is going up, the market conditions change and so should your message, okay? And on the offer side, there are 2 types of offers. What are they? Direct and indirect. No matter what your offer, what's MOFR stand for? So no matter what marketing you're doing, go back after this meeting, tear it apart, and make sure that you're making an offer for immediate response. Everything you put out, whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, a Facebook post, a print ad, I don't care what it is, it has to have an offer for immediate response. Right? Because without that, what are we doing?
Fishing without bait.
We're fishing, we're marketing. It's not a prospecting activity. We're not going to get direct stuff back to us. Would you guys agree with that? Okay. So prospecting offers for direct response. Somebody at the front, can you read these really quickly for us? These are examples to get you guys, give you some ideas. First one is what?
Are you thinking of moving?
Are you thinking of moving? What do they have to answer with? Yes or no? Right? It forces an answer, a response. Right? The next one, do you want me to help you get the home of your dreams? Yes or? Do you see the point? You see how this works? Okay? Next one, prospecting offers for indirect response. Here's an example. I'm doing a survey in the area. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? This would be the non-pushy. This is great for people who feel a little intimidated by asking direct questions and looking for a direct response right out of the gate. Okay? And what Gary talks about is a combination of the 2. Right? So let me give you an example. For the direct response, how many people have seen an infomercial? Do they use an indirect or a direct response method? Direct. I'll give you some examples. This comes from language of sales from the coaching. Are you tired of your eggs sticking to your pan constantly? Is that an indirect or direct? What can you say? Yes or? Okay. Are you frustrated with your current insurance company continually raising your rates? Yes or? So what are they doing in the direct response? They're limiting the total number of people that are going to respond, yet what are they doing in that group? They're separating the wheat from the chaff, and the people that respond are very qualified. You see the difference? Right? That's totally their objective. That's the strategy they use. They do not use, effective salespeople do not use solely indirect response offerings because it's too wishy-washy. I don't care if you're thinking about it in 30 years. I'm looking for people in 6 to 9 months who want to do something. Are you interested in selling your home? Yes or? Right? I'm not going to be that mean about it, but that's what the whole point is. It's direct. Right? Here's his 2-1 punch he talks about. And then we're going to get into some of the predictions. The indirect. So he's saying begin with an indirect response. I just sold a home down the street, so you're door knocking, let's say. Do you know anyone else who may be interested in selling their home? No? Okay, well thank you anyway. Followed right by what type? Direct. Before I leave, do you mind if I ask you another question? They say yes or? What are they going to say? They're going to say yes. Go ahead. Are you considering selling your home? Right? So we eased into it with an indirect offering, and then we go in for the kill with a direct. Do you see how this works? That's Gary's suggestion again. Who's Gary? It's up to you guys. It's your business. You might want to think about modeling what he's talking about. Okay? So we're going to skip some of this. I'm going to send this out. Here's what Tony DeCello shared with us. Historically, have we had market shifts before?
Yes.
Well, 3 people think so. Have we had market shifts before?
Yes.
Are there patterns that we can take from those shifts that happen every time?
Yes.
So here's what Tony DeCello said. Tony DeCello said that the shifts always start on the coast and move inland. Always. Right? And he said specifically, they've almost always started in 2 spots, 2 states. What are they? Florida and California. Would you guys agree with that from your experience if you've been through a shift before?
Yes.
Okay? So it starts in 2 coasts, starts in 2 states. So where would it probably be good that we kind of start looking? So here's what's amazing. So Keller Williams, did you guys happen to know we're the largest real estate company in the world? So we have offices everywhere. And the beauty of Keller is they're data friendly. They're very data focused. So when they're giving us these predictions, they're not basing it on NAR's data. They can look right into each of the market areas that we're in as offices and see exactly what's happening in real time. Okay? So here's what they said. Remember, this is Tony DeCello. Tony coaches people. You have to make $1 million or more, and he's getting rid of people because he wants to retire. So that group's getting, he's talking to bigwigs, okay? Here's what he said. The Florida Association, that's this state. The Florida Association of Realtors just released their June numbers. In June this year over June last year, their pending sales are down 30%. Is that significant?
Yes.
30%. Now that's what we call a lead indicator. That isn't going to affect them today. When's it going to affect them? 30, 60, 90 days out. Right? That's a lead indicator. They're off 30%. California, we don't have any numbers for them yet, but what we are seeing with all of the offices in California, how many people heard that California they were getting multiple offers and selling for a lot more than they were listed at? Did anyone else hear that, or is it just me?
Yeah.
Right now, guess what the most popular activity is? Price reductions. Okay, so I'm not telling you it's here now. I'm not saying they've shifted. What I'm telling you is, historically, shifts have started on the coast. They've started in 2 states, and we're usually insulated a bit because it comes inward, right? So what I'm telling you is, KW is ringing the bell to us saying, guys, it's here. It's starting. Be ready. Be prepared. It's not to scare us. It's not to tell us we're not going to make any money, because if you're prepared, you'll make money through the shift. They're telling us something is coming, okay? How many people know what this is? Penny, you're awesome. 4 conversations. So if you've not heard about the Career Growth Initiative, we're going to be passing out some sheets to you right now. We're going to do the work for you, so don't worry about it. You just have to write down 3 things. But here's what KW rolled out. Has anyone heard of the Career Growth Initiative or seen stuff on KW.com about it? So it might not be coincidence that KW rolls out tools to help you identify and track those key core goals of yours on a daily basis. Didn't we just talk about that? The Career Growth Initiative provides you a tool that does that. So here's what we know as that's passing out. There are 4 conversations, and this is relevant in your business. There's 4 conversations that you need to watch that determine how much money you make. The first, listing appointments, because listing appointments lead to listings taken. Would you guys agree with that? There's a conversion that happens. We go on enough appointments, we convert this many listings. Then our listings taken convert to what? Closings, and our closings convert to Profit. So those are the 4 areas that we're going to talk about, that we're going to always be looking at, and that this career growth initiative really focuses on, okay? So here's what we know, and this comes from Tony. Right now, as the market's shifting, agents need to significantly increase their number of what? Appointments. Because what happens when the market shifts to our conversion rate? Goes it up or down? Goes down. So that means we're going to need to go on more appointments to get the same number of listings taken. He also said, and he's telling all of his top agents in the country, we need to significantly increase the number of listings in our inventory. Why? Because the percentage of listings taken to listings sold also does what in a shift? Decreases, right? We're all spoiled because if we take a listing in this market, it sells. That's not the case, okay? So what they've done is this. I thought this was really, really interesting. Same from Inman, and I'll get to what they've done. Today's agents must sell the guidance and experience, not the access. So what I want you to do is go back today and look at your listing presentation and see what you're selling most of. Are you selling the access to the data? Are you selling the fact that you're the coolest thing in the world? Or are you really focusing on selling the guidance and the experience you provide? Right? Because again, if all you're doing is selling the access and how cool you are, you've already been replaced. Zillow's already got you beat. What they can't replace is the guidance and experience you provide to your consumers. You follow me on that one? So in order to do that, we have to have some tools to convey the message of why us and that wall of value. So how many people have seen this? Language of real estate. How's the market doing versus how our company is doing and how we're outpacing the market. We all follow that? How many people know what this is? This is yours. So part of Career Growth Initiative is they've created tools that allow you, with 3 clicks or 4 clicks, to put in your numbers. And now we can insert some of these tools in our listing presentations to convey our value to our consumers. What is that, or what should that do to our conversion rate? Increase it. Do you think it's coincidental that they're bringing this out right before we go into a shift? Okay, so you have to get in and look at this. Here's what Tony said. Shifts are scary because it's on your agenda. Shifts are scary because of uncertainty and being what? Unprepared. When you have a clear goal and focus daily on the activity required to accomplish it, you create certainty, and that is when you have a business. So the CGI tools do just that. We're tracking all that data for you. All I need on that half sheet of paper, if you've not been to the workshop or if I've not talked to you and done it for you, I need you to fill in those 3 blanks. The income goal, or your name first, income goal, and what percentage of your business is going to be buyers and sellers. We will input you into the system and activate your account, and then we're going to help you have access to these tools. Okay? So here's what the goal is. The goal is you guys to have this dashboard that you can look at how often? Daily. Everything is auto-populated on this dashboard. All you have to do is put in your number of listing appointments. So now you have a tool that does all the work for you, so you can check on every single day. The only thing you have to do is tell it how many appointments you had. It tracks the rest and allows you to measure your progress. Is that helpful going into a shift?